Hello everyone, JSR John here, welcome back to the channel. Today we have got an absolutely cracking race that was recently had in a weekly Open lobby with co-host LZR Rossi. Let's talk right into it. It was one of the final races of the night in B class, and as you can see it is a massive swath of red cars, absolute red army going on here. A lot of balmy action, as you can see there, me grinding in the Cougar alongside PTG Greek, who is currently holding the lead in the Chevrolet. Now, interesting stuff that unfolds here. We basically get two massive battles, two packs that all fight with each other for the entirety of the race, and it was honestly one of the funniest races I have ever taken part in, and Rossi, Starchy, Rufous and many others attested to that. There was just so much drama left, right and centre. But as you can see, coming down into the hairpin on lap 1, we are trying the dive on the inside of Brooksy, but we haven't got much in terms of the handling department, so we managed to hold it. We've got less distance to go, but Brooksy manages to hold the Chevy around the outside. Really nicely done there. Coming up into the Schumacher S's though, seems like it goes a little bit deep and off into the sand, so we get ourselves the first place. GG boys, it's done, race over. Well, that's what I wish I could say. As you can see, we've got none other than O2R D2 behind us in his Dodge Dart, the very creation that we see Starchy run every week in any class that he can. But now we have got the very tuner, the maker of this car, right behind us, and his car is absolutely gunning us down. So we're trying to play a little bit defensively into the chicane, force him on the outside. He rubs our paint, he tries to go around the outside and holds it. We're still side by side. Coming into the final turn, we're going to try and pinch him a little bit tight around the final turn, hoping that we can get a better run. But D2 is having none of it. He thought, no, we'll go ahead. We've got the superior acceleration, and as you can see, running side by side, we're actually holding similar pace to each other in a straight line. But he has got the inside right of way into turn 1, and across his rear panel he manages to sneak on by, and I think at this point it is worth us getting back into the position of Starchy, who's currently sitting in 4th place, repping the Kleenex livery. Lovely stuff. And as you can see, we're all bunched up together right now. I'm still trying to grab a position back on D2. Rossi's trying to get in the mix with his Chevy Vega, super powerful thing that is, and he drove it really well without traction control. And then who's that in the distance? Who's that in the camouflaged egg? It's none other than FRA Rufous, none other than the legend himself, rocking the Subaru 360, so we need to watch out for him. But so far, coming into the hairpin for the second time, lap 2, and it looks like D2, he's got the run on us, and I have a little kerfuffle with my gear shift there, go all the way down into 1st place. So I get my gears in a mess, I slow down, Rossi gets crashed into me, Starchy knocks him to the side. Starchy's having none of it. He says, this is my position right now, I'll take it. And as you can see, I just ploughed through the sandpit. Don't know why I done that. I suppose I'm just getting in a yeeting mood. Now I know that we got Starchy, Rossi and Rufous and Greek there in the blue Chevrolet Corvette, which you can see just a little bit behind. How does our Cougar hold up to the Dart in a straight line though? We seem to have a pretty decent exit, but our pace is bar on the same. So what's going to happen? Is Starchy going to take a dive into the chicane? It looked like he was going to. Instead he gets a nudge from Rufous, which forces him to nudge me. And he tries to make the better of it by going around the outside, and it does not work. He's now got Rufus who comes around, and that car, that 360, has just got some absolute stonks acceleration out of corners. You can watch it right now in a drag race. It is out holding a Chevy Vega, a Dodge Dart, and practically my Cougar as well. We're all holding pace. And now coming into turn 1 yet again. I try and hold the defensive, trying to hug myself on the curb. Rossi gives me a little nudge, he wants me out of the way. And then I have to quickly transition over to the other curb to stop Rufus as well. Starchy tries a little lunge. As you can see guys, it's just absolute warfare. It might be best that we get back into the position of Rossi, see his camera, because now he's got Greek right behind him as well, so he's having to play a bit of attacking and defending. But this is the main battle that I wanted to show off to you guys. There was plenty more action lower in the pack for the midfield, but here is where all the hilarity ensued. As you can see, Rufous and I just treating each other like ping pong balls at this point, just knocking off of each other. And the surprising thing with this 360 is, it doesn't seem how hard you throw it into other cars. Other cars don't get affected because the 360, well, it's got the weight of an egg. Surely, that's why we call it the egg. Question is, can we crack it? Around Nurburgring, I don't know if we can. I'll nearly go all the way off after the hairpin, quickly try and grab my line, and then the Schumacher S just plough the first part of it. But we managed to avoid the sand this time, so good stuff there. But look, Rufous, 360, that acceleration, manages to nearly go all the way around the outside, and we're going to have to try and do the same here. We go side by side, the old rubbing is racing, as Rossi likes to quote, and now we are back on to the back straight. Fast right hand sweeper, Starchy makes a lunge for it. We're side by side now. Rufous is up ahead. Is he going to be able to escape us after the chicane? I don't think we can, because he's gone a little bit deep. He's cut the second half of the chicane, but we don't care. We're all going all guns out. Final turn now. What happens here? We all actually neatly get into a line together. Starchy gives me a little bit of a nudge. If anything, it probably helps me. And now we are coming into yet another lap, and I think it's worth us changing the camera, because it's going to be nothing other than a bit more defending from myself. We try a lunge on Rufous into turn 1, managed to just about beat him to the apex, and we get him smudged in between our car and Starchy's. He fell victim to a muscle car sandwich, and we have managed to squeeze ourselves back into second place. Rufous takes a dive of his own. I'm trying to deny him it, and he's staying on the grass. He's not even on the track, and he still manages to overtake us. Absolutely mental stuff here, just absolutely hilarious. Could not stop laughing whilst doing this race, and even Rossi, he was in hysterics long after the race finished as well. But we are now in the later stages of the race. So what happens here? Rufous is up ahead. We are right behind him, and we give him a little bit of a nudge. He starts to sim twitch a little bit, so I'll try and help him recover just by driving into the end of him. But this has killed our run for both of us. Rossi sneaks by, but he goes a little bit deep. I follow Rossi, I go a bit deep, and I'm the only one who ends up in the gravel, so I lose out all them positions. Just holding on to second place there, and now we're at the bottom of the pack. So what's going to happen now? Well, it's a three-way, if not a four-way fight with Greek to see who gets second place. Some mental stuff here. So let's see what moves does Rufous try and pull in the egg. Gives Starchy a little nudge, and not that his dart is going to mind that at all. Absolute brick of a car that is. Pretty sure you need planning permission just to try and uproot that from where it sits, that dart. But from the perspective of Rossi, we can now see that it looks like Rufous is lining up for it. Yes, that's it. A lunge, a final lap, final turn lunge. He goes too deep. Starchy tries the undercut, then the overcut, manages to pull it off. Rossi gets the undercut on Rufous. Rufous is having none of it. He tries to ram them from the outside. And now we come to the very end. Greek is here. He's in the mix. Who is going to take it between Rossi and Rufous? Is coming super close, but he doesn't realise Starchy pulls the ultimate brake check of the century. Oh, glorious stuff there.
The spots. Oh, there you go. There he goes. Oh yeah, it's got the insides.
Go on, Rufous, take the dive, take the dive.
Oh no. Come on. Come on.
He's taking it.
No, he's been getting me.
Oh my god. Oh, you love to see it.
He got me.
Oh.
Let's now take the perspective of Greek on lap 1, because as I said, there were some amazing battles left, right and centre. It wasn't just at the front pack. So let's look at what Greek manages to do along with Rufous in that egg on lap 1, because they climb up from the very back of the pack. A bit of side on action there after turn 1. And Greek has got to negotiate with 2 massive Dodge Darts up ahead of him. But he's not in any old car. He is in the Chevrolet Corvette 1960s, and he's got over 440 horsepower in this thing. So let's see how he makes this rip on the straight, making easy work on that Mazda MX-5. Just strolls by it like it's standing still. And now he is coming closer into the mid-pack, right behind Rufous again. And we can be able to see some more of that stonks acceleration in the egg. He squeezes through Jakir up ahead alongside One Chance Lou, who is in his alternate account tag, by the way. Greek manages to meet the curb really nicely in the hairpin, now overtaking the Porsche and coming into the Schumacher S. He is sitting right behind Jakir, who also ran a fantastic race, by the way. He climbed up many positions. We see Brooksy there on the side, who went off, giving us the first place position in lap 1. Greek goes for a daring lunge on Jakir, nudges him off of the track, but makes sure to give Jakir space coming into the following right-hander. So really respectful stuff here. And unfortunately, Jakir, just out of his own human error, just goes off into the gravel. But as I said, that is not the end for Jakir. He climbs up many positions in this race, so definitely worth a shout out. Back to Greek though, he's up against Drive to Drift, who is in the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta, one of my favourite cars in B-Class. And Drive to Drift does a really good defensive job in the chicane, but he leaves the door open for this final turn. Manages to hold Greek really narrowly, but it is the power of this 60s Chevrolet Corvette that starts nomming down, just absolutely chomping these positions. As I said, 440 horsepower, so he made easy work of the guys on the straight, and now he just has to hug it on the apex. Bit of a late exit there, but he still manages to hold the position. So really good stuff there. As you can see, Rufous is climbing a bit closer to the likes of Starchy, then Rossi, myself in the Cougar, and then D-Squared, who just quite frankly ran away with it. He took that first place and he wasn't letting go. Stupid times that he set down in that thing, so well done to D-Squared yet again. Completely deserved the win. But it's worth us giving a shout out to some other drivers, such as SBR Fozzy, PTG Brooksy behind in that Corvette, the same as Greek, who he fell from first place all the way down to I think 13th, and he starts to close down the distance yet again. But SBR Fozzy in the Dodge Dart up against BBR Hannon up ahead, and then there's another Dodge Dart up ahead of him driven by RBHM Chicken. I'm not familiar with this name, but this guy was driving pretty good in the Dart as well, has to be said. And as we look up to him, he is closing in on Jakir right there. So as you can see, Jakir, he fell some positions due to this very right-hander. Jakir nearly commits the same mistake, but just manages to avoid certain death there. And now he is in the mix of it with Drive to Drift and with Chicken right behind. And these guys, along with SBR Fozzy behind in the Dodge Dart, these guys really do have a massive scuffle. They really do. And Kamaja has to hold the fort in 7th place, basically for the mid-pack. He's trying to hold the fort down there. As you can see, we've got Kamaja up ahead quite comfortably. But what we really want to see right now is Chicken versus Jakir on this straight. So it turns out that Jakir has actually got some substantial power. I think he's got the most of 500 there. Not quite exactly. But they are both chewing down on Drive to Drift in the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta. He goes a bit wide after turn 1. Dodge Dart and Jakir come there. We are 3 wide into turn 2. Just ridiculous stuff. Like, as I said, guys, it was just phenomenal racing. I wasn't even aware of these battles that were happening earlier on in the race, lower down the pack. But it turns out, Nurburgring GP, what a battleground for B-Class. Can get such a fantastic mix of cars, obviously muscle cars, kind of own this track because it's a lot of pointing and shooting. But with these banked corners and all the camber that goes with them, it really allows a good mixture of cars and builds to drive pretty fastly here. As you can see, Fozzie makes up the position on Chicken, but the battling is not over there. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to these guys because they had some phenomenal racing for the entirety of the 4 laps, as well as what we saw up front. So kudos to these guys. But anyway, just wanted to show you this, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure that you like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel because we've got plenty more videos just like this which are coming up in the week ahead. We had some more cracking battles in the open lobby, as long as some interesting moments I've had in public hoppers recently, which I do really want to share with you guys. But until then, thank you for watching, make sure you like the video, and we will see you again soon.